We're live!
Hooray!
Even though we
Or
didn't know a new
hey.
episode was coming on today till last night.
Yeah, I was not expecting it because last week they're like, "Nah, we're not having one." And then this week they're like, "Yeah, guess what? We're having one."
Yeah?
It's the end of that story.
You're sounding very crackly.
I know. Hmm.
New technology, he's getting everything right. Just give us 1 second. So how was everybody's weekend? Or start of the weekend? How was everybody's week dealing with this whole corona? Are you at home? Are you unable to do things? Are you just chilling?
Hang on. Hang on. Um, the YouTube has um, I thought we tested this yesterday and it worked.
We didn't test the live stream. I mean, we just tested that you sounded fine.
Oh, there we go. Now it sounds better. There's something wrong with my headset, my headphones. They're
Well,
better now.
I don't know what
Hey,
to tell
buddy.
you.
Am
Hey,
I crackly
Sean.
still?
No, I mean, I don't think so.
How about now? If I say words, this is a peek behind the curtain for everyone who's listening. This is how what's the word I'm looking for? This is how dumb people do things.
Yes. And we
Don't
fall
say
in that
yes.
category.
Yeah, well, these
Category.
things happen.
So, I mean, you're crackling a little bit, but I mean, it's not too terrible.
You know why? I
Why?
think it has something to do with if I have the YouTube running through this mixer.
Well, don't have YouTube running because I have YouTube running.
Okay, well then you're monitoring the chat.
Yes, I am.
Well, actually, I think I can still monitor the chat if I just have the video paused.
Oh, okay. Retweet.
Yeah.
Retweet.
Yes, sir.
Let me share this on Twitter.
Don't share it in your Facebook groups.
Yeah, I can't do that no more.
Not until what? The coronavirus ban is lifted the same day that you're that you're able to.
Nah, Holmes. I'll
Well, it
get
depends.
unbanned before the coronavirus does.
Yeah, it depends on what state you live in.
Yeah. But everything's going to open up back up by Easter.
Um, yeah, that was funny.
You are
so
not allowed to have things.
so um so just a peek behind the curtain. So I got a nice bonus with work, not bragging, but with that bonus I bought a few
Big
things.
bragging.
It's backstory. So with that, I bought a new co-host, and
Oh shit! That means I ain't got a job no more. All right, bye.
no, with that, I upgraded my audio equipment. I got myself, and it'll help us in the long run too. Like when we go to Power MorpherCon, and when we go to the recently rescheduled Fayetteville Comic Con Spring Convention is now the Summer Convention.
That means I can wear jorts.
Jeez, why don't you just wear a hockey jersey that says 37 on the back
I should wear jorts and a hockey jersey.
and a hat backwards?
Okay. I got you.
It's gotta be white on the back.
Oh, word.
You can be the White Ranger. You can be the White Ranger.
Yeet.
But it's been rescheduled to Saturday, June 26 and Sunday, June 27. We'll still be there, barring any further delays.
Yes.
Hopefully you'll be there.
I'll be there.
Now I know that North Carolina is not as impacted with, the whole COVID thing as much as Virginia and especially New York and California and some of the other larger metropolitan cities. I would venture to guess though that if there's still an issue, that Fayetteville is not fucking around, because Fayetteville is right next to Fort Bragg, which is a military town, and the military, guess what? They don't fuck around.
Oh no, they don't play. They just like, nope, yeet.
They're like, no, we're good.
We're not playing this today, kiddos.
No. So, but as it stands right now, we're still slated for the last weekend in June. What I said, 28, 29.
Something like that. Whatever that last weekend is.
I think I just had it up on my calendar, but I just closed it. 27 and 28, as I said just a minute ago.
Mm-hmm. So we'll be there, and then next convention after that. What is that, Sean?
Ranger Stop? No. Palomorphicon.
Yeah. So we'll be there. Have
Yes. Yeah.
things. Jeez.
So the whole point of the story was that I got I upgraded my equipment from a simple USB mic to oh, that's so cute how I gotta turn my head to watch you turn your camera.
Yep.
You're way too close, by the way. You need a longer arm.
I know.
So I got a mixer that's an all-in-one mixer, so I don't need, what is it, a audio input for microphones, and then a preamp for headphones and all that bullshit. So
You have an
I,
all-in-one.
I went and I went a little, there's a couple different options on the market. There's the Zoom, whatever it's called, all-in-one podcast mixer. I went with the Rode because it's less knobs, more sliders, and it's also got buttons.
I
I
like
forget what
buttons.
yeah. Um, yeah, so I can put stupid stuff on here like, or my favorite, which I'm going to save for later
Oh.
when it's relevant. But yeah, so I got this Rodecaster Pro, two Rode Pod mics, and these fancy pants headphones that were $14. But that was our technical difficulties from earlier. I think
So
we figured it out.
so 6 minutes in. I mean, nobody's watching, so they don't care. But
That's okay. We'll leave it in. It'll stay in for the podcast. I'm sure I'm sure our regulars, Barrel Bob, Orville, and Toku Kid, and a couple of the other fellas, Lorenzo, he watches, by the way.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he told me that when he was here. He's not here because, quarantine of the highest,
Stay the fuck away from me.
more or less. But yeah, they're all in lockdown, I would imagine. I know Orville is in Pennsylvania from last week. He told us in the chat. So
Be safe.
not
Don't get corona. And if you get
well,
corona, it's a half price.
well, no, it's the stock is because people are dumb. But no, he's in Pennsylvania where my parents and my kiddo live. So I know that they're on like super lockdown now. Like, don't leave your freaking house lockdown.
Yeah, they're talking about doing that here in Virginia. I mean, they've already done essential personnel, but they're like, everybody needs to stay home. I'm like, all right, y'all gotta chill, cause I need money. I'm like,
Well,
I'm
and
I'm essential personnel.
that's what your employer keeps trying to tell you, but I don't know that that's accurate or not.
Look, as long as I'm getting money, I don't really care.
Well, read the $2 trillion bailout bill, and you'll see that you'll continue to get money. Anyways, enough about political talk.
Oh yeah, we don't do politics here.
Power Rangers is not current events, except if we're talking about the most recent episode or
Which
new casting.
episode 5, which is entitled
Cruisin' for a Bruisin'.
That's a play on words if I've ever heard one.
So here, let me bring it back to politics for a second.
Oh God.
The Evox virus, aka the coronavirus, is cruising for a bruising.
Yeah, Sean's gonna fight it.
Maybe some other people.
You remember that Adult Swim game? This is irrelevant, but this is what it makes me think of. It was like this Adult Swim game where they had like different biblical people fighting.
Was it a game or was it a TV show?
No, it was a game on AdultSwim.com.
No,
This was
no, I
back in the
never.
day. This is like old school, but it was like you could be Buddha, if I remember correctly. Satan, Jesus would hit you with a cross.
So it was like South Park.
It was. I found it amusing. I was like, oogie.
Well, I mean, like the original South Park pilot was Santa versus Jesus.
That's pretty funny.
You've never seen that, have you?
No.
It was the original college pilot that it became the pilot. They expanded it, but it was the original college project where they, the season 1 where they used like the cutouts for the mouths and they would do effectively stop motion cartoons, but more or less with color forms. Super cool. Yeah. And the history lesson is over.
All right, now let's get into the episode. It opens up with them doing target practice,
which I really like. I really like the fact that they aren't just all-knowing, omnipotent, warriors of, you know, everything and anything.
Like our Lord and Savior.
That guy. Yeah. Although he is an eighth degree black belt, so maybe you want to keep your shit talk to a minimum.
Oh no, I'll talk shit to a maximum.
You know who else has an eighth degree black belt? The way conversation works is you say something.
No, I don't.
Chuck Norris is the only other eighth degree black belt in the world.
Yeah, I could take him.
I would love to watch you get your ass whooped. He would look at you the right way and you would get your ass kicked.
I could take him out on a date.
Chuck Norris, fuck that guy. So says Ben Stiller from the end of Dodgeball.
Jesus, now
Anyways.
we're referencing what, a 15, 20-year-old movie?
Yeah. I think that movie is older than my kid.
That's interesting information. Thank you, sir.
Hey, you're welcome. That's what I'm here for. So anyway, so they're training and everyone hit. So everyone, they're taking bets. Okay. So there's betting in this universe and Ravi is a gambling man on two fronts. And I totally dig his swagger here. He's like, first of all, I'm not going to lose. So there's a bet that he's going to win. Second of all, he didn't bring his wallet. So he is doubling down on the fact that he is not going to lose and everyone's going to owe him smoothies. I dig his swagger. It's like going to the store. It's like going out on a date and be like, oh shit, I forgot my wallet.
But I ain't losing, so I don't care.
I ain't paying.
I was like, well, he's cocky. But like that target practice was super easy. They literally just shot a target. They're like, all right, we're good. And then they're like, all right, now you got to shoot a moving target. And he wasn't even moving that fast. It was ridiculous. It was a beat up Tronic on one of them hoverboards, and they're just like, we it's too hard. And Cruz is like, nah.
He's dialing it in. He's like, pew, 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 pew.
No, he only did one shot, so it's pew.
You get what I was getting at though. My cat is behind me, making a lot of noises right now.
Well, tell it not to.
Say again?
Tell it not to. Tell it to be quiet.
Yeah, he doesn't speak English. Big problem.
What does he speak then?
Cat. Anyway, so back to the show.
Can I just take a side note real quick? Yo, that stupid Henry Danger new series, there was way too many commercials for that. It was every other commercial.
You don't like Henry Danger?
I don't like the new spinoff just because they kept talking about it.
You know,
Danger Force. I'm like,
so
bro.
Do you know why they do different shows after 2-3 seasons?
No.
Okay. I learned this not long ago. It's because for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, your pay gets increases higher and higher.
You keep cutting out.
Sorry, I'm loading Chrome again. Fuck it. I'll just hang on. Let me turn this off. All right. Anyway, so with every season, your pay increases. That's just the way it works.
Yes.
Kind of like when you work, when you have a job. Typically, if you do decent, you get more money.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, their pay increases. But when you start back at season 1 with a new show, even if you're effectively keeping most, if not all, of the cast, like the Green Arrows, like the Flash or Green Arrow, they had 7 seasons, and now they have in season 7 they have all these characters that they built out that they're still waiting to see if they get picked up. Green Arrow and the Canaries and Girl Power TV show or whatever.
Stargirl?
No, not that one. It's the Mia Queen and all her.
I'm pretty sure they picked it up. It's Green Arrow and the Canaries.
Yeah, I didn't read the news recently. I knew a couple days ago it wasn't, but anyway, not important. But they were on season 7 of that show. They were starting at, even though it was 7 seasons in, they only got pay for season one or for guest stars or whatever. But then they started a new show, so that and they're all the series regulars get season one rates. So Disney, what they will do, and Nick too as well, they will start a show after they will reboot a show after 3, 4 seasons. Do you ever watch Lab Rats with Hal Sparks?
No.
Okay, basically, he builds 3 kids with his in his basement. Hal Sparks is a tech guy. He builds 3 kids. They're super powered. They're not really kids. They're actors. That's how business works.
Is it?
Or acting. Yeah. So, but every year or every 2 years, they would reboot the show with the same characters but a different setting, and they would call it something different so they could kick them back down to season one rates. So basically, it's a cost saving thing.
Interesting. I didn't know that actually.
And that's specifically for union jobs, because in union jobs you have built-in pay scales.
Oh,
That's
so
any
Power
union,
Rangers can go on forever because it's non-union.
but they reboot it every 2 years anyway. New
True.
cast, new crew. The people in front of the camera get the pay bumps, the big pay bumps. The people behind the camera probably just get scale, or their going rate. I would
Makes
imagine
sense.
certain people get an exception, like Chiplin and
If
some
he's
of the
still
other.
even there.
He is currently, but I don't think he. I don't. I think he's stepping away yet again, probably for another 8 years, and then coming back, probably. You know how that goes. The Chiplin cycle of Power Rangers. It's
Yeah.
good, and then Chiplin leaves and it drops off a cliff, and then he comes back after a while
I
and
don't
it's
know.
good.
I don't know. It was Neo Saban era was
You know who wrote In Space?
Chiplin. I know. I think he's lost it though. As Brody Lee would say, he's an out of touch old man.
You know, these things happen.
Yeah,
So anyway,
I'm just mad we've only had one viewer and it's me.
it's okay. Don't call it out because this will go on the podcast too. You don't want to say how bad we are.
Yeah, awful, terrible.
There are different times going on in the world where people are not focused on Power Rangers like they should be. They will be, because in this digital age, people will binge and stream. So anyway, Cruz wreck shop on that one Tronic. Devin's like, oh man, he could be in the field with us. And Nate's
Everybody's like,
like,
that's not a good idea.
nah, which is the running theme. Devin's like, yes. And everyone's like, no.
They're trying to be nice. They're like, nah. Devin's like, I'm the Red Ranger. And they go,
And they're like, you're not the original Red Ranger,
you can't ever do it without the original Red Ranger.
as we will find out later this season.
See how bad this is.
Hopefully it's good. We'll see. However, then we have you noticed the Ben and Betty segments have been very condensed this second season so far?
I'm fine with it because it's starting to get annoying.
Yeah, I agree. But
Like
they
the first episode, it was fine because it's like they're doing their jobs and they're just idiots at their jobs. So I'm like, okay, but they just been being extra, and I'm like, I don't like this.
yeah, but they basically come up with an idea that instead of them having to clean, they need to make something to do it for them, and they find that Tronic just on his Segway going back to its holding cell. I don't know.
Just wandering around Grid Battle Force.
Speaking of wandering, there's my cat.
Been through a lasso like he's some cowboy, some space cowboy.
So yeah, they capture it and then they get dragged like it's the rodeo.
Rodeos.
But then Scrozzle makes a Digitron. They call it Digitron to absorb tech, and I like this concept because at the same time Nate is developing more tech throughout this entire episode, and they fight tech with tech, which is typically how tech works.
So what you're saying is we should fight Corona with Corona.
The beer.
Yes.
I mean, maybe, I don't know. So then Nate makes Nate, against his better judgment, makes these Captain America shields out of tires with a gun built in that Cruz can just simply hold. And it's very on brand for Cruz because it's tires.
Yeah, it's 2 wheels that are blasters, and I'm like, okay, makes sense.
Hmm. And Nate still insists that Cruz needs training, which we will find out why later because he's a good shot. But that's you can make all the free throws you want, but if someone's standing in your face, it makes it that much harder.
Yeah, like what are you really supposed to do? Like you could be good in practice, but if you're not
Hmm.
good in the field or like
In when you have to make a real decision,
yeah, it's not eh.
yeah, you can have a talent, but that talent is worthless if you can't actually execute under pressure.
And we saw that because Devin was telling Cruz in the battle, "Hey, he's right there," and he's like, "Oh, okay, blast, blast."
Hmm.
But when he went up against the big guy, he's like, "I don't know what to do."
Well, when he lost his guns, that was his crutch. That
Yeah,
was the only thing, he lost his extra. The motorcycle lost two of his four tires.
he can't go vroom vroom no more.
He is not, no more beep beep in the vroom vroom right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, long story short, the Digitron, you know, basically takes the guns, separates Cruz from his guns, and then he absorbs Cruz and gets super powered up.
Big powered.
And then everybody runs back to Grid Battle Force, and Devin's like, "Oh man, this is my
He's
fault."
I done messed
So,
up. Everybody's like, "It's not your fault." He was like he needed combat training, and he goes he. Devin's like, I should have listened. Like, no shit.
well, and I do like the fact that Devin doesn't just sit there and say, "Nah, that didn't work." Oh no, he came up with a solution. Hey, can we do what the robot did, what the Digidrone did, or the Digitron did? And Nate's like, I'm unofficially Billy Cranston's son, so perhaps. And of course, in 35 seconds, he whips something together.
He's like, here you go. Beast
Yeah,
bots. Beast X
yeah.
mode.
Here's a new toy.
I don't get one though. Me and Steel don't get one.
Not yet.
What's up, Darth Ren? He said he's the only one watching. I'm like, well, yeah. It'd be like that
For,
sometimes. It's 9:40 in the morning.
yeah, this is not adult times,
Most
and
people are still sleeping.
it's hard when you got to work from home 5 days a week now.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. People are working from home, so they're like, dude, people are going stir crazy.
But side note, Stir Crazy is a funny movie with Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder.
I don't know
Yes,
who they are.
Gene Wilder, Willy Wonka.
Oh, okay.
Top hat Willy Wonka, not Johnny Depp Willy Wonka.
Yes.
And Richard Pryor, a comedian from the 70s. He's the one that inspired Eddie Murphy to be a comedian.
Who's Eddie Murphy?
You've watched all the Disney movies. Shut up.
Why you call me out like that, Sean?
Because you're an adult
But
on paper,
best
legally.
best Disney movie was Johnny Tsunami.
I didn't watch it.
Johnny Kapahawa back on board. I stand by those statements. Anyway, back to the review. Yes.
Hold on. Yeah, keep talking.
So after that, what happened after that? So Nate whips up the Beast X mode, and he's like, "Yeah, you can put your Beast bots in this key, and you put the key in this thing, and then your Beast bot fuses with you like it's some Dragon Ball Z shit."
I don't know who or what that is.
Yeah, because you're an adult. So, anyways, the Robotron returns. They go to battle him. Of course, they're like, "Oh, it's 7 minutes till these things are done downloading," and they're like, "All right," and then they get there, and it's like, "How long? 2 minutes." I'm like, "So it took y'all 5 minutes to get there. You know how much damage this man could cause in 5 minutes?"
Yeah, I didn't understand the whole we gotta wait, but whatever.
Yeah, they're like,
The big thing though is, did you notice the street?
"Oh, that was the first thing I noticed." I was like, "Huh, Japanese."
But they cleaned it up.
Not really. It was still Japanese lettering.
Yeah, but it was good. It was good footage. I mean, it didn't look like it wasn't glaringly different. Like,
No, it
hey,
was
this,
like Mighty Morphin and ZU Ranger.
I hate you so much all the time.
Big time. Big time rush.
I watch that because I'm an adult that has a child.
I watched that because I was a child.
Thankfully, you're not a child. You weren't a child or an adult with a child. That'd be a mess. Big mess.
My life's a big mess. Anyways, so
Yeah, I know.
well,
I've met your family.
well, dang. So you taking shots at my family? We're done. I'm
I'm
hanging up.
glad you don't have a brother named Ethan.
Yikes. Anyways,
That's an
so
inside joke. Story for another time.
not
Stop me at a
for
convention and I might tell you about it.
depending on who you are.
Yeah.
Anyways, so they do the Beast X mode, and well, before Devin gets Cruz out of Big Boy, he's like, I got you, and he fuses him into the key, puts the key in the Beast X mode, and he's like, Beast X mode, to sell toys.
Toys and for it's a money making scheme for Anarchy to sell more helmets because those helmets are this much different. I do like the Red Ranger Battleizer, Beast X Battleizer mode. Did you like his Nightcrawler mode?
That was I did like the VFX on it.
I wrote it down here. Devin now has Nightcrawler mode, and Zoe has Neo from the second Matrix mode.
Yeah. No, my thing is what I really hated because I know why they did it in the Sentai, but Ravi was just pulling shit out of nowhere.
He's got basically, I think he gets a kickback from like building inspectors or something because he makes buildings structurally unsound.
He was just like,
I need this.
I'm gonna digitize a steel beam out of here. Yeet. And then he gets a boulder out of the ground. I know why they did it in the Sentai, because the Sentai is based in like a cyber world or something like that. I don't know.
I thought they were police, but I don't know. I mean, Mega Ranger is basically a video game, and in space, the counterpart is completely different, as we both know.
The one of the few occasions where Power Rangers did it better.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mega Ranger was pretty cool. The they were cool. They were both good in different aspects of it. Obviously, in space was, a let's call it an homage instead of just a complete ripoff of every movie, every positive of every movie franchise ever.
Star Wars.
Yeah, pretty much.
Andros is
And
Luke Skywalker.
more or less.
So they battle, and then Devin goes, all right, I'm into this cheetah mode or whatever, and he goes through these hoops or whatever, and then a flaming cheetah comes out and attacks the B-spot. We didn't have a Megazord battle, did we?
I was waiting for that, but I kept looking at the timer. I was like, "There's only 2.5 minutes left, and they got to have some sort of, resolution for this, that, and the other thing that happened." So they didn't have any. They didn't have one. I was surprised.
I'm not upset by it because I like the Megazord, but I prefer the Rangers in the suits. Megazords are cool, and I know that's some people's thing. They're like, "Oh my god, the Megazord!" I'm like, "Yeah, Megazords are cool, but."
What are they going to do? Put up another red dome and have the Ultrazord slash through it again?
Yeah, pretty. How much can you do with that big bulky thing? I mean,
Did you ever watch So Jeff Pruitt was the stunt coordinator on the early days of Power Rangers,
yes.
on Mighty Morphin and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And have you ever watched his YouTube video? Some of his YouTube videos?
No.
So he has footage, like an hour and a half long footage from Japan, from Kaku Ranger, Die Ranger, with the White Tiger Zord and some dude taking off the head and the torso and just wearing the arms and walking around. And it's like, what the fuck is this?
I think I've seen the footage. Once you see the people in the costumes of the Megazord, you're like, this is big weird.
But, depending on how old you are when you come into the series and you see stuff like that, when pre-CG, you can tell when, like, my dad happened to watch the episode from Mighty Morphin where the Megazord fell into a paper building, and he's like, what the hell is this? It's like, they're battling, Dad. Shut up. This is where it gets good. And me not realizing that it was a 17-second fight, and that's it. I'm like, it's really intense right now. Shut up. I'm watching my show. And he's like, this is ridiculous.
I want to ask when this was. Was this when you were a kid?
Yeah, this was 95. I remembered specifically.
Oh, that was the year I was born.
You see that TV over your right shoulder?
Yeah.
That's that TV in corner to corner ratio is bigger than the TV that we had at my in my parents' living room
Mm-hmm.
because you couldn't have, then the TV was also about 1,000 times deeper
And
because tube
much
TVs.
heavier.
Oh, by far. They built TVs with handles in the back of them at that time.
They were.
Like not on not briefcase on top. Like they were like
Oh, I
little.
know. I I
Yeah.
I had them.
Okay. Just making sure.
Hey, Barrel Bob joined the chat.
Hey, Barrel Bob.
He said, "Good morning, my people."
It's us. We are his people.
His
We are
peeps.
here for his entertainment.
For how much longer? I don't know because I'm getting hungry.
I had breakfast. But anyway, so yeah, I mean this episode was, to keep it brief because it's basically just, hey, here's a new toy. Let's fight. And here's a new power up for another new toy. And let's fight some more. And here's a new finisher.
Yep, that's essentially. It wasn't a bad episode, but one thing I want to talk about in future episodes. I know you haven't seen this, but you remember the Pan Global Games, right?
I remember that. That was in Mighty Morphin, wasn't it?
Yes. So they're bringing it back in Beast Morphers.
Oh. So that's one sporting event that's not getting canceled or postponed.
Yeah, because they already filmed it.
Yeah, how about it?
Yeah, so they released descriptions for I think it was episode 8 and episode 21, and I'm like, but why?
That makes perfect sense.
But why? Give me the description for the Dino War. I hope so. I know
I
this.
think the description is the title.
Yeah.
The Dino Wars.
Yeah. Darth Wren said this is a fairly solid episode. I'm like, I enjoyed it. I mean, it was good. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, no, I like this episode. There was story progression. There was there was just a lot of good that came out of this episode. Because I bought an American Beast Morphers morpher, I probably will get this add-on unless it's like you have to buy a whole new morpher. Then I'll be like, nah, you can go fuck yourself with that bullshit. But
No,
I did
you're like, yeet.
yeah, that's exactly what I'm like. I'm like, let me go to Target because Target stores aren't closed around here in North Carolina.
They're not closed up here either.
You want to hear a sad story?
I like sad stories. They
In
entertain
in Philadelphia specifically, Wawa. There's a couple Wawa stores that are closed because employees have tested positive
me. Oh God.
for COVID specifically.
COVID-19.
Yes, that one. And in all Philadelphia Wawas, no asshole. My cat wants to jump up on my mixer. In all Wawas, they have suspended self-service of coffee.
Oh, they did that here.
But here's where here's where the shit hits the fan. They have disabled in-store ordering of food.
But you can just order on the app.
Yeah, but you still have to have like DoorDash or Dine and Dash or whatever, Go Busters or Go whatever, Uber Eats or something, bring it to you.
Generally, I don't know what they're doing up there, but generally around here, everywhere's doing free delivery because they want to make money.
How are they making money then?
Because they're actually selling food.
But how is Uber Eats making money?
They're not. Uber Eats and Uber are shut down.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Quit being a little bitch.
So you want to hear something funny?
My cat is being a needy little cat.
So
Yes, go ahead.
I saw something online. This has nothing to do with the episode, but it has something to do with COVID-19.
Okay.
This dude matched with this girl on Tinder, and she was
Oh, boy.
19, and his friend was like, "You should be like, we would be a deadly match like COVID because you're 19."
Oh boy.
I'm like, he's like, "I'm COVID and you're 19," and I'm like, too soon. But back to Power Rangers. That's my side story for the day.
No, I approve it. I'm sorry. I'm text messages. People are
Never even heard of Wawa. Darth
Well,
Wren.
you need to get out more, my friend. You can
Google
go anywhere
it.
from East Coast, specifically Lancaster County and Lancaster County and Reading County. Lancaster and Berks County and east in Pennsylvania, south of Philadelphia, South Jersey,
5 minutes from my house.
Delaware, the east of 95 in Virginia, and there's none in North Carolina. It's
I
Sheets territory.
I never
There's none in
understood that.
South Carolina, none in Georgia. However, the Phillies, who are in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, they do spring training in Clearwater, Florida. So there are a couple sprinkled in that area as well. So
Yeah,
if you're
because
fine,
one right next to Ranger Stop. Convenient.
hmm
I was just upset they didn't have any hot dogs.
you'll be okay. I think they were going for a. I don't think people in Florida eat hot dogs because it's Florida. You know how people in Florida are.
I don't want to get into this discussion, but yes,
They're interesting. They're not Tiger King interesting, but they're interesting.
big facts.
We should watch that together.
Tiger King?
I heard it's like the first 2 minutes, you're either in or you're all in. It's like, so from what I heard, and I'm going to draw a comparison that you would understand. So we all know how bad Super Mega Force was, right?
Oh no, Super Mega Force was amazing. Troy's the best Red Ranger of all time. Robo Knight, perfection personified.
Don't forget the Sixth Ranger Final Strike.
Oh, that
But
was amazing.
but in all seriousness, you know how bad that was, how much of a bastardization it was.
Oh yeah, compared to Gokaiger, yeah.
Yeah. So the level of bad that is, it's Tiger King is the same level of what the fuck is this? I have to keep watching. It's like watching a car crash that people just don't hit the brakes. You're just like, why would you do that? It's kind of like that,
Well,
only the good kind.
alrighty then. We should do a Netflix party.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we have with the Netflix Party app for Chrome. We just have to watch it on our computer. But yeah, and we'll share the link at some point somewhere.
And we'll
Whenever
live
we
stream our reactions and be like, all right, what the is this?
maybe, yeah, we'll see. Yeah. But anyway, so this episode, um,
How
what'd you
many
think?
morphers would you give it out of 10?
I'd give this one mainly for story. Sorry, loose leaf paper. Um, for story progression, I'd say I'd probably give it about a 6.5. The story was even, but it wasn't like the first episode of the first season of Beast Morphers, where it was like, what? You're gonna reference all these old, Power Ranger, these previous Power Rangers
Yeah, I just want them
villains
to
and
get to the main
characters.
story.
Yeah, I mean it's very much Monster of the Week with slight with slight character progression and tech progression at this point.
Yeah, it's
Devin's
very
Devin's
reminiscent.
always sorry. Devin seems like he's always sorry.
That sorry bastard.
He's the leader and he's learning, but at the same time, at some point, you got to make the call that benefits the team, not you.
True. I mean, he's learning. He wasn't trained on this, so. But I'm just wondering, where have Blaze and Roxy been since like 3 episodes ago?
I don't
Like
know,
good
but
with Blaze and Roxy. There's like yeet.
I do like Cyber Blaze. He is being so brooding this episode, and I love it. He is totally dennising Evox and Scrozzle.
Demonstrate value.
Yes, sir. They did separate emotionally more than once.
If you don't get that, if you're
If you don't get that, you should watch the YouTube clip of the Dennis system from It's Always Sunny, and I think we should just leave it at that. Basically, he is the epitome of asshole, and you know, he's every guy at 20 years old, but he's what, 35, 40 in the show?
he's Sean Fritz got everything he knew from him.
Mm-mm. 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 No, no. No. No, 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 no. You know that comment, you know what it is? That was actually the wrong one.
Power Rangers logic.
That wasn't Power Rangers logic. That was just super mega jab.
I have
But
sound effects.
Darth Wren said Super Mega Force was a great season. LOL.
Yes. I know who else says LOL, but he doesn't say it ironically.
Barrel Bob said Blaze and Roxy are at the peace conference.
Well, we learned in the comics that Jason, Trini, and Zach were not at the peace conference.
Oh no, they were not.
No, no.
No, sir. It's okay.
Anyways, what do you think of this episode?
I give it 7 Morphers out of 10. I thought it was decent. I just like my favorite scene was the Nightcrawler scene.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I mean, I didn't like the fact that they had Japanese lettering on the ground, but
Mm.
I'll get over it.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
I'll just go cry in a corner for a minute and go to my safe space and
That's why you were late.
But
That's
yeah.
why this didn't start at 9.
So, yeah, good episode. I'm hoping next week's episode is better. I hope because in the ending, Evox is like, "We need Nate."
Goldar was not there.
You know I can't do voices.
I know, but he's like, we need Nate. So that's
that's setting up for next episode. Hopefully, it progresses this story somewhat.
Oh, fingers crossed.
Yes. But yes.
Uh-oh. Update. Stay-at-home order issued in North Carolina.
Like essential personnel or everyone?
I don't know. I haven't read the article yet. I got this far on it, which is the very top.
Let me see if I got one. Nope, just an Instagram notification about something.
The stay-at-home order will last 30 days and end April 29. It bans gatherings of 10 or more people. Those who go outside must maintain at least 6 feet of social distancing, except around members of their family or household. Permitted reasons for leaving home include health and safety, outdoor activities. So it's not really home in place. I love that. You can go outside you can stay inside and hang out, but you can go outside and do things, certain types of work and getting necessary things.
Virginia has now 739 confirmed cases of COVID-19.
If you want to freak yourself out, go to worldometer.com. I'll send you a link. And it tells you how many total cases worldwide, how many total deaths, how many people have recovered. And you will see that the death rate has climbed from 2 progressively up to 5%. And it's like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm good. So, but let's end on a light note. We'll talk about this off air.
Yeah. So, if you have it, wear your morphing grid lined outfit so that you can protect yourself and breathe on the moon.
And ride horses and fight Beetleborgs.
Forget to hit the brakes while in midair and peel out.
And leave sparks.
Oh yeah, well, it's Power Rangers. It's, you know what it is?
Power Rangers logic.
Yes. All right, Sean. Take us out.
I think it's time to power down.